Hello, everybody. We are here with your Chernobog guide. We'll be playing Chernobog in the mid lane. That is his best role, and we'll talk a little bit why later on. We're going to be starting off our build pretty standard here with mid lane hunters. It's going to be your tier 2 Transcendent, your health pots, multi-pots, and of course your purification beads for all of the CC nonsense that is coming your way. On Chernobog, we're going to be starting with our 1 Crystallized Curses. This is the ability that we are going to max up first, and it is also the ability that we get at level 1. When you throw out this ability, it starts off by throwing out a damaging circle, and then after it waits 3 seconds, this will detonate, do damage again, and also root for 1 second. One nice thing about Chernobog mid is that you can actually throw your 1 over this wall and it'll do the initial damage, but because it procs again in 3 seconds, even if it takes your jungler a while to clear, you will still get credit for that speed camp because it procs that second time for the damage, which re-aggroes the speed buff, which gives you the credit again. So we wait right here until the 20-second marker. Boom, we throw it over the wall. Bada bing, bada boom. Chernobog's passive is really cool for a hunter. Chernobog, every 3 stacks of your auto attack, it does extra damage. So when you attack targets, you see these little stacks building up on them. And when you get that 3rd auto proc, it does a little bit of bonus damage and it's AoE, which is great for your clear. So you got to attack the same target 3 times, and then it gives you that little bonus clear action. And that's super, super nice. Chernobog, one of the few mid laners that can actually walk over here and do the red buff. So you don't want to do all the damage all at once. You want to wait until it's about half, and then you pop your 2 here. And because you get that bonus attack speed, you can actually come over and do the red buff. And because you're a hunter starting with health pots and multi-pots, you don't have to take that much damage. By the time you get back to lane, you'll be fine. So we should talk about Chernobog 2 because we just used it. Chernobog's 2 interacts with his 1. So if you have your 1 out on the board and you use your 2 through it, it will go ahead and explode your 1 early, give you that root and that detonate damage. I am not actually afraid of fighting these guys 2v1. Chernobog's early game is actually quite good. So your 2 will proc your 1, but more than that, by itself, it is a auto attack. So this can crit. It goes through enemies, gods, minions, whatever. If you have something like crit, it'll crit. It works just like a regular auto attack. And also, it gives you a big, fat attack speed buff as well. So when you use it, it's going to give you that attack speed buff 20 to 60% from 3 to 5 seconds. Standardly, you are using this to explode your 1. 3 seconds is way too long for it to be an effective ability against players outside of the initial damage, which is why you throw out the 1 and then you pop it with the 2, and it's your clear combo as well as your PvP combo. Chernobog's 3 is the ability that you'll either get at level 2 or level 3, depending on how aggressive you can be. Always get your getaway skill at level 2 if you're scared about getting ganked. If you know you're not going to get ganked, go ahead and you can get your damaging ability. So we get our 3, which is our getaway skill, which is a short range dash. Not the most exquisite, just regular dash by itself, but it has some really cool features. 1, it actually does do damage. So if you go through somebody with this ability, it'll do damage to them, and it'll also slow them for 2 seconds at 25%, which is very nice. But the most important part of this ability is that you go ahead and get to dash into walls. They just warded right there. That's a little scary. You can dash into walls with this ability, and then you can sit inside the wall for 3 seconds. We're gonna do something very quick right now. I got my ultimate. I don't have time to explain it. I'll explain it after. I'm gonna gank the left lane. This is why I like Chernobog in the mid lane. Get that early 5, grab your red buff, head on over and get ready for a gank. I throw down my 1 and my 2 combo here onto Oleron to make sure that he's rooted. They are not level 5 yet. I dash through the emoji to get that slow on here. I'm continuing my chase right now. I know I got people coming. I'm still just looking for her. I'm gonna go ahead and use my 2 to wrap this on up, except for I miss it. Gotta try to get the damage on my 1. We'll grab that kill as well. I hear them. They're all behind me. I'm trying to kite around right now until my dash comes back up. I can dash into this wall. Chiron's ulting, so I'm waiting to dash back out of the wall until his ultimate is over. So Chernobog's ulti, which we use to basically start off all of that nonsense, is a global ultimate. This will affect everybody on the enemy team. It makes basically a shadow appear behind them, and you can teleport to that shadow. So there's a little bit of a channel time before you go into the air. You are CC immune. Think kind of like how Thor goes into the air, but he's CC immune when he's channeling it. After you get up into the air, if you press it again, you will fly to your target. Keep in mind, you can drop right back down in the exact same spot by right-clicking and canceling your Chernobog ultimate, but you won't get any of the bonus effects that we're about to talk about. Those bonus effects include damage mitigation, movement speed, and a reset on your skills. So when you teleport, so you temporarily gain the damage mitigations, extra movement speed when you teleport to it, but also it resets the cooldown on all of your non-ultimate abilities. You do not get those effects if you cancel out of the ultimate and drop straight back down. So as Chernobog, one of your jobs is to keep an eye on the map at all times to see if there's something that you can do to gank people. Over on that right side, that doesn't really look like it's going to be a good opportunity for me, so I'm not going to go to it. You can use this ability as a vision ability. You go, oh, I think they're about to do the Gold Fury. I should check. You can pop your ultimate for that. You think, oh, I bet there's going to be somebody low at their red buff. I'm going to go gank them. Perfect. Oh, I see somebody on my map. My team's ready to gank dual lane. I'm going to farm up in right lane and then ulti over when the fight breaks out. All good uses of Chernobog ultimate. And that is all of his abilities. So we've got ourselves a Transcendence, very standard on our mid lane hunters. I'm going right into the Warrior Tabi. Warrior Tabi gives mana now, 100 mana on top of its power, which means it's really, really good with Transcendence, because it even gives you a little bit of that bonus power. On Chernobog, much like when you're playing Apollo middle, you want to be focusing on farming in ganking in between waves. So if I'm going to rotate to a side lane, what I want to be doing is clearing out like the mid wave first, like this, and then ulting over and ganking the left lane. I'm gonna land, I'm gonna get my cooldowns back down, I'm gonna wait for this all-around ultimate to kind of end, and then I'm gonna gank this guy. That's exactly how you want to utilize that Chernobog ulti. You don't want to be rotating around willy-nilly and missing a farm. Get your farm first, and then use your ultimate for the rotation, so that way you're actually increasing the amount of farm you get, not just trying to break even by rotating to different lanes. At the end of the day, farm is king in Smite, so remember to keep your farm game up.
But you sure
your ultimate, your dash can be used as a catch-up ability as well. It doesn't have to strictly be used as a getaway ability. Because you dash into walls, you can use it for things like dashing into a wall once and then dashing out of the wall and trying to get farther away. So it's okay as a catch-up ability. The strongest part of Chernobog's dash is really going to be that Aegis effect. So when you are inside the wall, you cannot be hit by abilities. So if a Kraken's about to come out and you dash into the wall, nothing's hitting you in here, dude. You're just absolutely chilling inside of your ultimate. So for Chernobog, you've got a couple of options as far as the leveling order. Sometimes you want to get points into his ultimate because it does increase the shadow clone speed, which means that the gank, the actual shadow itself will stay closer to the target so that you land closer to them. It depends on your exact play style, but in general, I would say that your level order on Chernobog is 1, 2, 4, 3. That's what I like. Leveling up your 3 does reduce its cooldown, but the 4 gives you a lot of clone speed and damage mitigation when you land for those fights. Sometimes I like to get 1 or 2 points in my ultimate. You see I've got a second point here just to get a little bit of that extra clone speed to be able to catch up to people when I go for the ganks. It's a little bit up to you, but in general, 1, 2, 4, 3 for your Chernobog leveling order. Just waiting for these creeps to come up here in mid. Chiron goes into his ultimate. Now you can feel free to walk up. Look at now Bologna, because she used her ultimate to get into this fight. I got to be a little bit careful right now. Trying to keep the eyes out on Yamoja is the only target that I can see. Quang's probably going to try to land back down on somebody, but he did. He went over for my set. So I'm going to try to rotate over to my set, help this boy out. He doesn't have ulti up on Quang anymore. I'm going to dash through him to make sure I get the slow. Using your Chernobog ultimate aggressively is probably not super recommended if you're new to the character. But if you're not new to the character, you'll find the opportunities when it's safe to go ahead and use it aggressively. For the most part, as with all getaway skills, you know, its main purpose is helping you live, but it can help in a tertiary way with aggression, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, we can probably go back and start this. So we're gonna try to leash this Gold Fury, hopefully back and forth. It is on me right now, so I'm gonna bring it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and give it back to my boy, dash to this wall, and then dash out even further, making sure I get that double dash in order to go ahead and get right on out of that. Backing it right on up, I'm gonna work on my Aussie. Aussie is probably still the best lifesteal item in the game. I think it's actually severely underrated. They changed things like Soul Leader, and they changed, and obviously Devo Gloves got a change a while back. So they've got a lot of people hyped up on all these lifesteal items. If you're planning on building crit as a hunter, I think you should always have Aussie. The interaction between Aussie's passive and crit is just absolutely disgustingly good. So I see no reason not to go ahead and just buy it. I get Aussie every single game on my mid lane hunters. It is just that good. Gotta be a little bit careful here. Chiron ultimate is down, but he's still got that long range damage. I'm gonna buy my Aussie, I'm gonna back up, and I'm gonna look for a target to ultimate in on. Whenever I back on characters like Chernobog and Apollo, I love to immediately go and look for the fight. So I'm gonna ulti on this Oleron over here. He's only level 9. Maybe I can force his ultimate or something. Look at all this damage. Instantly dead. So the reason why I like that Chernobog so much in the mid lane, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but mid lane just gets a lot of experience. You get a lot of gold. You should basically always hit level 5 quicker than the duo lane is going to be hitting level 5. And that means you're going to have these opportunities to do things like dive to the side lanes and gank them, and you basically become a second jungler on top with your jungler, because every time your ultimate comes up, you can look for that play. That's not like a unique play. That's every time your ultimate comes up, you can basically look to do that. And that's why you've got to focus on farming your mid lane. Because if you're farming your mid lane efficiently, you're going to keep that level lead. You keep that level lead, and you'll be able to do that exact same combo all game long, and they'll never be able to do anything about it. It's particularly effective into gods in the side lanes that are not mobile. So like this poor Oleron that's right behind me, he's a super immobile god, and so he's not able to really fight back. against those ganks, because it throws that 30% movement speed slow on him. All he can do is basically, you know, throw down his ultimate and hope that that's going to work just fine and dandy for him. For your Chernobog combos, it's nothing super crazy. Your standard combo that you're always using is your 1 and your 2 together. You can, of course, use your 2 by itself to get that attack speed buff for things like doing objectives, for things like doing that tier 2 tower right there. Just making sure that we're getting all of the benefit out of it. Your dash, you're really just keeping up all the time to make sure you have it in case you need it as a getaway skill. And your ultimate is not really a getaway skill. The two main ways that you use Chernobog ulti is obviously one, the ganks that we've been doing all game long. This is the primary use of it. I might actually die here from that flame wall that hits me again. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, we got to get out of there. That fire giant's wrecking us. That's an early fire, boys. The secondary use of Chernobog ultimate is gonna be almost like how you would like think about a Rama ulti. You can pop the Chernobog ulti when you're getting ganked, and it will toss you into the air for several seconds. Make sure if you're gonna land back down on yourself, don't let the duration of Chernobog ultimate run out, because if the duration of the ulti runs out, you do not get these effects. So hold out as long as you can in the air. You've got, I want to say, 3 seconds while you're actually inside the air. I don't think it actually mentions it here. But make sure you wait as long as you can while your team is rotating to you. Then press it to go back down. You'll get those damage mitigations, the movement speed buff. You get those cooldowns back as well. So if you use all your cooldowns right before you go up, you'll get your cooldowns right back for you when you come back down, and you've got a chance to dash in the wall. If you dash in the wall again, you can sit in the wall for basically another 3 seconds, and then you've got another 3 seconds that you're waiting. If you've got Aegis as your second active, which you should, now you've got an Aegis, which is another 1.5 seconds. You can basically give yourself like 7.5 seconds of damage immunity. Just really keeping yourself out of harm's way. And that's not even counting if you do your dash before the ulti. It's basically 10 seconds of not being able to take any damage if you were to do it perfectly. So a lot of immunity time potential on Chernobog. You can also use Chernobog 3 for something silly, just like right here, just resetting the fire giant. I didn't want the aggro on me anymore, so I jump into the wall. It makes me untargetable, so the fire giant goes ahead and targets you, Mojo. That's a great way to use it. Chernobog's abilities do work through walls. So Chernobog 1, you can launch over a wall. Chernobog 2 does go through walls, so you can go ahead and use it to pop things. Get your root over that wall on target. I'm going to use my ulti right here to slow down everybody on this list and jump right into the action. It resets all my cooldowns, so my 1 and my 2 come back up. Quang is in the back line. Yamoja's blocking us off with those creeps, and we've got nothing really to do over here, so I'm going to walk over towards left lane. Our build is pretty standard, but we're running on most of our hunters right now in the mid lane. This is going to be that Transcendence Warrior Tower by Aussie. Standard start. Then we're going to start going into the crit with a Rage. 5th item, Atalanta's Bow for the pen, and just because Atalanta's Bow is busted. And then 6th item going into Deathbringer or Wind Demon, and then getting the other one that we don't get as our final item after we sell our boots. So for Chernobog, you do want to be standing around walls in your team fights. Walls are your friend. 1, because you can use abilities through walls, but 2, because walls is what you actually go inside in order to get the most effect out of your dash. So if you're fighting in the middle of a lane and you kind of get stuck there and you can't like reach a wall with your dash, then you're gonna be in trouble. So you do want to keep yourself near walls in order to make sure you can get the most out of your dash.
Good luck.
You think you scare me?
Good luck. Gotta watch out for this Chiron. I'm gonna throw down my one. I'm actually not gonna blow it up. I'm just gonna use my one as a little bit of a zoning technique right there. So I'm not blowing it up on purpose so I can keep it around to try to scare people from moving through in front of their Phoenix. This time, though, I'm going to pop it on purpose because I'm trying to get that Oleron with the root. I'm going to dash into this wall and just stay in here as long as I can to make sure I don't get hit by that Yamoja ulti. I'm going to now throw down my ulti so I can teleport into the backline without getting hit by this Phoenix using my 1-2 combo here on the on the Chiron in the backline. He got slowed down. I got to go right through the Phoenix without taking any damage. Now we've got all 3 Phoenixes down, and we can go ahead and look at this Titan. Titan's on me. Oh no, what do? Oh, I use my dash in order to get that immunity so I don't take any damage. And that is how you are looking to play Chernobog, guys. Go with the standard build on the mid hunters. It works every time on basically every hunter. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Transcendence, Warrior Tab by Aussie, Rage, Atalanta's, Wind Demon / Deathbringer. Always good on your mid lane hunters. On Chernobog, make sure you're abusing your ultimate. If you're not ulting to those side lanes as much as you can in ganking, then you're not getting the most utilization out of Chernobog. But like I said, make sure you're getting your farm first before you ulti to those side lanes. Otherwise, you're going to be falling behind in farm when you're doing that. You want to use this to get ahead in farm, not behind in farm. And of course, always keep yourself near a wall to give yourself that immunity effect when you dash inside of it. And that's our Chernobog guy.